Nerd Takes.
Nerd Takes.
I'm John.
I'm Justin.
And we are here today to review the Jim Beam Lineage Batch 2. We reviewed the Batch 1 a year ago or so.
It was recent.
It was recent, yes, last year. They recently came out with Batch 2 in September of this year. This is a distillery-only release. I was able to get one. And a quick summary about this. A lot of this might be redundant from the Batch 1, but whatever. Father and son distilling team Fred and Freddie No hand-selected this bourbon for its rare and mellow experience of caramel, vanilla, and oak, the result of resting 15 years in Kentucky rack houses. And this is actually from the box itself. This carefully crafted bourbon has been a long time in the making, over 225 years, in fact. That's how long the Beam family has been perfecting the craft of distillation, passing down their knowledge from generation to generation. This limited release, created by master distiller Fred No and his son Freddie No, continues this tradition together. Fred and Freddie hand-selected this 15-year-old bourbon with its aromatic yet balanced flavor. This rare whiskey marks the peak of one generation's achievements and the next generation's coming of age. It's dated as 15 years old. It's 111 proof. Do not know the mash bill. And the MSRP is $250. Could not find any information from tasting notes online. Breaking Bourbon did a review of this, so I have their notes in a pinch.
Okay. We'll see how close we are to that.
We'll see how close we are. They usually do a pretty good job. I like them, and I think we kind of gravitate towards what they like. What they like, we like in general.
Yeah, totally. So
yeah,
I would say first of all, incredible legs.
Yeah,
you kind of set off. Yeah, this is obviously going to be very oily, and I think first of all, we like the Lineage Batch 1.
Yeah, we gave it 9s.
Yeah, we were fans, even given the price. So I want to say I have some high expectations for this, and I've already sampled it too. So I figured
Cheater.
I wanted to get into it so I can give it time to see what the finish is like, kind of as we're talking.
Well, yeah, and I think some of the stuff that I like as I read reviews and stuff, like it's important to like. I've seen people that will know something and then take a sip and then go back to nose because you'll start to come up with different notes even after taking a sip. So I appreciate that approach. That's all I'm saying.
I really appreciate. Thank you for appreciating me. So let's talk nose, right? I'm just going to give some initial thoughts. I got vanilla. I mean, yes, caramel, sure, but I'm getting vanilla. I actually get some cherries in this.
Okay.
I could maybe see some citrus. I don't know if it's an orange or a lemon peel.
No, I got the oak, and I get some spice.
There's definitely some spice.
There's definitely some spice in here. Probably like it's a cop out, but like baking spices, but not necessarily pepper.
But it's no. I was gonna say it's more like doughy or sweet. Like it's
okay.
It's definitely on the sweeter of the heat of the spice profile, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's what did you get on the nose? You already said like you got some oak, you got some
of the spices, and I mean some of the stuff like a little bit of the sweetness, some ethanol, just because it
is. It actually. So I asked you what the proof was before, and it's 111, and I thought it was going to be. It smells hotter than that.
Right.
What did Breaking Bourbon say for the nose?
They've got ground nutmeg and baking spices mingled with a warm, creamy vanilla.
Okay.
Coffee and aged oak appear upon deeper inhalation, and rest on a bed of cinnamon sticks. So we were kind of
interesting. Yeah,
kind of right on it.
I know this is psychosomatic, but like after you hear that, it smells like a cinnamon roll.
No, I see. I get the cinnamon stick and not necessarily a cinnamon roll.
Oh no, I get.
But you get the doughiness.
I got. Okay. 100% the doughiness from the beginning.
Interesting.
Now on the initial palate, let me talk flavors after I'd maybe taken their sip, but it is very viscous. It's got a very much like a full mouth feel. It's very oily. What I mean by that is a lot of times when you get something that's maybe aged longer or that is just higher quality, rather than it just kind of like slipping down like your throat and the back of your neck, it kind of coats the entire top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth.
Yeah. And
that's what this did like immediately. As soon as I got it, it was like a little bit on the front and then just full mouth.
Yep.
Just warmth. And not heat, not hot. Just like a nice Kentucky hug, right? As they say.
It does drink hotter than its proof, though.
Yeah, way hotter.
It does. 111 again. Agree with you on on the oiliness. I get a little bit of spice, but it's spice at like the tip of your tongue spice. And then again, it's 15. I get oak, which isn't a bad thing. I'm actually starting to appreciate the oak note a little bit more now. But that's the most prominent one that I get, at least upon initial taste.
No, I think it's very nutty. It's definitely a Beam product. I mean, of course it is, and it's a very long-aged Beam product.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something like very distinctive that I'm getting in there. I'm just going to go back to that citrus because I had it on the nose a little bit, and I feel like I'm getting it more now.
See, I'm reading and I'm cheating, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got that one.
Okay. Well, what is it?
So, transitioning to the midpoint pulls in the creaminess from the nose up front thanks to vanilla and melted caramel, spiced dried cherry, and apple add intrigue and additional depth. Focusing deeper, the back end contains aged oak, leather, cinnamon powder, along with pleasing rye spices. That's what I get. I can taste the rye.
And I'm getting
very, very end.
I'm getting that on the back.
Yeah,
Like, talking about finish. The rye is...
You're talking back palate, borderline finish, but yeah, that's when the rye starts to come up.
That's when it gets spicy.
Yes.
And I think on the finishing notes, I think we're getting a lot of spice. I think all the sweetness is going away. Now it's more pepper. Now it's more... I don't know. Like, yeah, it's just very woody and oaky.
Yeah, and maybe some of, like, they mentioned it on the taste, the leather.
Sure, yeah. I was going to say leather, but I feel like I say leather. I just like to say leather.
You say leather.
I don't even know.
Leather, citrus, and cherries.
Well, I got a couple of them today.
Yeah, you did.
But man, this is pretty delightful. The finish is pretty long. Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy long, but it is.
No, it's not. It's not crazy long.
No, but it's got a good. Actually, what I like more about the finish is not the length of it, but it's the depth of it. And it's the overall just the warmth of it.
Yeah,
I like how it transitioned for me from sweetness to spiciness, as opposed to I feel like sometimes it goes the other way, with certain bourbons where it's like immediately like hot and spicy, and then it maybe mellows out as it goes. I feel like it goes the opposite for me with this one.
Yeah.
So that's
and going back to it, I've added a little bit of water. I've actually had some. Like I get more sweetness on the nose, or at least I can pull that out a little bit more.
Yeah,
on the nose. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
On the finish, we kind of talked about it already. A pop of rye spice, which is 100% true. Underneath lies sweet creme brulee and brown sugar. Spice aged oak and a dash of leather appear for a beat before transitioning over to lightly sweet, gentle dry spice that moves in. These flavors eventually settle on a dry spice, along with dry roasted peanut, which lingers for a long time.
That's the Beam, by the way. The peanut.
Yes, the peanut is the Beam, producing a really satisfying ending to the sip that you soon won't forget.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's pretty good.
Justin, what do you think?
This is pretty solid. When I first, I guess, nosed it, it's kind of pungent, right, on the nose.
Yeah, don't get too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad cinnamon stick came up because what got to me, and this is the true Irish Catholic way that I grew up. When I was little and I was sick, my mother would give me a hot toddy with cinnamon sticks in it, and that's what came right back to my memory right away. Like I was like, oh, that's a cinnamon stick. So I'm glad that came up. I feel validated. Overall, very solid. The only place where I'm like, I wish the finish lasted a little bit longer. It's there, but for how oily it is, it feels like it's gone too fast. I don't know. And I don't get the creme brulee. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get that on the finish either. Like, the finish is oak and spice for me.
I get the rye spice. Yeah, I get the oak. I get pepper. I actually thought maybe crushed red pepper a little bit in there. You know,
I mean, it's a little spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah.
And if you do the wine swish, absolutely, it coats very well. And, like, I can feel the heat around. But the majority of the heat's on the tip of my tongue. There's a warmth going down, and then it's kind of gone. And that would be my only knock to it, is I wanted the finish to last just a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can still taste it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and that was even after water.
Right.
No.
I don't. I don't know what happened.
It's just sitting. It's just sitting right there. Yeah. All right. Ratings. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, how much is this MSRP?
$250.
$250.
Secondary is about $350.
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk secondary. Let's just talk about
Because we were talking about this, like the availability of this is like you can go into Jim Beam and this will be on the shelf.
right.
This will be there. Like it's a distiller only thing, so you won't find it at a liquor store here, but you can go to Kentucky and you can find this. Whereas with some of the others, like whether it's Heaven Hill, Buffalo Trace, or anything like that, like you have to go on a certain day at a certain time, typically very early in the morning, to be able to wait outside and try to get one of their ultra premiums, like whether it's an Old Fitz or a Parker's Heritage from Heaven Hill, like or all of the godforsaken people that are standing outside Buffalo Trace waiting for Weller Special Reserve.
Right. I think that needs to play a factor, right?
I think it absolutely does.
And
Like
so
you can find this
with some of the other distilleries, I think it may impact it negatively. I think in this instance, because you can find this, it actually moves my score up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was originally thinking Stormtrooper Luke,
Okay.
but I think I'm going to land on New Hope Luke.
All right.
I recall the first lineage being a little bit better,
Yes.
but not by a whole lot. I actually really like. So for me, it's the initial taste and the nose are incredible, and then I just think on the back end it maybe doesn't wow me as much.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not good. So for that, yeah, New Hope Lake.
That's the number that I was going with too.
Cool.
8.5. New Hope Luke.
Okay, we're kind of in the same wheelhouse. I was going to go 8.
Yep.
So Stormtrooper Luke, again, very good, very good. I'm price conscious. The 250 is a little steep for me, but I don't think that's too steep. Something like 8.
Yeah. I mean, figure the first one came out. The first one came out in 2021. So this isn't even an annual thing. This is we did one. It's like, oh, okay, let's do another one kind of thing. So it's
considering the limited release, but also the availability. I don't think 250 is bad. The secondary is ridiculous, but ignore that. But yeah, I'd stick with 8 because I don't think it's a great bang for your buck, but I don't think it's that horrible for what it is.
Yeah. And I should note that this is a 700 milliliter bottle. It's not a 750. And it comes in a nice box. So part of the money you're paying for is the box. That box is 30.
That box is pretty cool. So, all right, well,
All right.
great one.
So, Jim Beam Lineage. If you're in Kentucky and you're visiting Jim Beam, maybe think about picking this one up if you're willing to spend the money.
Yeah, Message Us will also take one too. So, I will at least. He's already got one.
I already got one. I don't need another one.
All right.
Nerd takes.
Nerd takes.